Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bronco Garage. Today I'm going to show you something that you've got to have and got to get it on your truck. That's right, we've got new products from James Duff. I told you we were coming out with some great stuff, and here it is. What's in the box? What happens when you lift your Bronco? I've got a product in front of me here that's going to tie into that, but the first thing is you want to put a bigger tire, or you want to put a small lift or even a big lift on there, and that's when things can start getting weird. You get out there on the road, you hit the gas, you feel a vibration, a shimmy, or boom, something breaks. Well, that happens mostly because that new leaf spring pack you put on is a lot softer. Now, yeah, you can also have your shocks help control this, but really, you're gonna need something to control what we call axle wrap. So what you need is an anti-wrap device. And James Duff has this great product that they've had for many years called the Torque Tamer. James Duff has come out with a new product that works in conjunction with their Torque Tamer. It's this 9-inch bolt-on Torque Tamer axle bracket. Now, what's really neat about this product is it makes the entire assembly 100% bolt-on. That's the only one on the market that offers that. And it's not only for the early Bronco. It works all the way through to 86 full-size Bronco. The other thing that's really great about this product is that it's specifically designed around long travel suspension systems, but it also works great on-road. Now, this bracket will bolt up to any 9-inch factory center section. The only thing we're not sure of is if it'll work with a high 9, a high pinion 9-inch. So if there's anyone out there who wants to test it, we'd love to hear your feedback. Now, traditionally, the Torque Tamer would have an axle bracket that would weld on, and it welds as close to the center section as possible from the driver's side. Well, this bracket actually moves the whole assembly closer to center, or should I say closer to the drive shaft. What that means is if you have a dual exhaust system that uses that real estate between the frame and the drive shaft, this is going to allow that system to have more room to keep it away from the frame, away from your brake lines, and even more importantly, those fuel lines. Now, you'll notice that this is 100% silver zinc plated. It's got double shear on top and bottom. The main assembly is 3/8 thick, and then the shear gussets are 3/16 thick. It also comes with drainage at the bottom, and it comes with all the necessary hardware, which includes these new studs that are longer, which press into your factory housing. Now, keep in mind, this is not to replace the Torque Tamer that you would buy, the main assembly. This is just an add-on product. So if you don't have a Torque Tamer, you're going to want to purchase that as well as the bolt-on bracket for your 9-inch. Now, you don't have to buy this. You can just use the assembly that comes with the Torque Tamer, but it does require welding. Now, also an important disclaimer for any of you that are going to be using aftermarket parts. That includes a frame, different drivetrain than what came factory, axle housings, center sections. Any of that kind of stuff will affect the install of this product and the main assembly as well. So keep that in mind, that if you're upgrading any of those things, there may be some modifications required. It's important to note that this system works specifically with the James Duff dual exhaust and 2-in-1 exhaust systems. So if you have an aftermarket exhaust system, it's likely that it will also need some modification to work around this assembly. Now, keep in mind, you can't just remove the nuts off the studs of your 9-inch center section, slap this baby on, and put the nuts right back on top of it. That's not going to work. The studs are too short. You're going to have to use the hardware provided in order to get this installed correct. Now, for all of you that need that guidance, I'm going to be making an install video for this shortly. In the meantime, here's some tech tips for you in order to do the install properly. Now, step 1, you're going to want to make sure you jack up the rear axle and put it under jack stands. Then you're going to want to get those wheels and tires removed. And from there, if you've got drums, you're going to take the drum housing off. If you've got disc brakes, you're going to take the caliper and rotor assembly off and out of the way. Once you have the drum removed or the caliper and rotor out of the way, there are going to be 4 bolts holding on a retaining plate to the axle housing. You're going to remove those, That will allow you to slide the axle out. You're going to want it out about 6 to 8 inches. Let it hang there. And it's important to note that some gear oil may come out at that point, so get yourself a catch can. And once you have the axle slid out and out of the way on both sides, then you're going to go and work on the center section. Remove the drive shaft from the yoke at the rear end, and then you're going to remove the bolts that hold the center section to the axle housing. You're going to slip that out. Now remember, it's heavy and there's a lot of gear oil in there as well. So get a friend and get yourself another catch basin, and then remove that center section out of the way. Once you've got that out of the way, you can pound the 4 studs out of the housing that you need to replace with these longer studs here. Pound those out, pound these studs back in, and then you can go ahead and clean up the housing, clean up the center section. And this would be a good time to consider an upgrade to your hardware that holds the center section onto the housing, and a new gasket as well. James Duff actually provides a new gasket and hardware kit that you can select the same time you purchase this. Once you have all that upgraded, you put the new gasket in place, slide your center section back on. You're going to put everything back together just the way that I told you, just in reverse, and then you're going to torque it to spec, and then you can go ahead and slide on your new bracket using the supplied nuts and washers, and of course this longer bolt for the lower part of the bar. Well, that rounds it out. We've got all of that covered. I'm really excited about this new product. I think you guys that don't have a welder or just don't want to deal with welding are really going to like this upgrade. Thanks for watching. Definitely leave a comment below. I really like interacting with you guys. Appreciate all the feedback. We'll catch you next time.